Codebenders, today I'm going to show you 10 different coding projects that I helped my students build. So the first project is Meme GPT. It was created by Annie Root from the UAE. And the way it works is simple. You provide your API key for OpenAI. You click on generate meme. You have to wait a little bit and then it creates a meme for you. Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. If I click again, it should generate another meme. So this one, just for context, the time when he built the app, like a big news that was happening was that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk were scheduled to fight, like an MMA fight. And the app that he wanted to build was about memes, because it says here it's like memes based on what's trending. So this was like a trending topic. And he built, it was just a React app that was using the OpenAI GPT API to generate text, and then he had the library of images that were selected, and he would match the text to those images basically to generate those memes. So this was like a simple, quick project, and I remember he even shared some of those memes on Reddit, and a few of them got like a decent amount of upvotes, so that was pretty nice. Next project is Chop the Pundit. That was built by Brai from Nigeria. I've taught codebenders from all over the world. Like I said before, we're at UAE, Brai is from Nigeria, and you will see like in the rest of the video, there are projects from the US, Canada, Europe, Asia, really like all the continents of our planet. So this one was more like a meme project. It's basically this Chop the Pundit, which is like this character that provides like funny commentaries on events that you provide. So if I say, for example, Bitcoin is rising in price, loading, and then it says, okay, I forgot. It only talks about football. So if I say, for example, who is better, Ronaldo or Messi? Let's see what happens. And then it says, yeah, the eternal debate, Ronaldo and Messi, both are legends. And then it speaks about the GOAT. It actually picked Ronaldo as the GOAT. It's funny. I basically provided him with a template JavaScript code to just make a call to the OpenAI API to get the response from it. And he tweaked the template, made different changes, adapted the UI completely, made something unique. And I really like the way it came out. It's like a quick, fun little project. By the way, all of this was part of my Codebender program. If you want to sign up, go to lastcodebender.com/bootcamp. You're going to get access to a bunch of different unique project ideas, tutorials on how to build them, direct calls with me, access to a private community, and a bunch of bonuses. I highly recommend you check it out. Alright, the next project is a CHGPT clone that can use voice control. So you open the app, you click on sign in, and then it's going to open an interface for you. That interface is basically a CHGPT clone. You have like a very similar type like home screen. You can pick the model that you want to choose. So that's like a unique aspect to it, is you can pick which model that you want to interact with. You can start new chats by clicking on the button on the top there. And then instead of a new chat, you can start typing things. So at the very bottom, you can start like typing whatever you want to say to the AI, like how are you, for example. And then it's going to send a request to the OpenAI API. You see there's like a loading state. Then it's going to take like the response back. But the unique aspect to it is you see at the bottom there, like on the bottom right, there is like a little mic button. When you click on it, it transcribes your speech. You can click on stop, and then you can send that to the app, and then it's going to respond. So it's basically like a ChatGPT clone with the basic features of it, and then it has voice control on top of it. So this is like a nice project by Asad from India. So I basically provided him with a React template that was making a call to the OpenAI API and creating like a chat, and he completely transformed it, molded it into a clone. I think he spent like 2 weeks working on this project, and I really like the way it came out. Next project is one that a lot of students will actually like. It's called Turn Your Audio into Notes. So this is built by Imran from Ingushetia. This one is actually a vanilla JavaScript project as well, because he had never built any apps before. He was like a beginner into web development. So we started with something simple, just a vanilla JavaScript front-end application. And what it does is that you see on the top left corner, you have to provide an API key. And the reason why it's done like this is because since it's a purely front-end application, like there's nowhere to store the API key, so he had to do it like this. He just forgot to encrypt it. He should have put like a type password on the input so that it's hidden. But yeah, anyways. So here you can upload like an audio from a lecture, for example. Like you go to one of your classes, you take your phone, turn on the recording, record like the lecture, 1-2 hours or whatever your professor is talking about. You upload it to this app, and this app is gonna just create very structured notes based on that audio. So it's something very useful, and he actually, after building it, he shared it with a few of his friends at university, and a few of them started using it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so it's a vanilla JavaScript app that makes a call to the OpenAI API. Actually, first it makes a call to Whisper, which was nice because he used two APIs. He first used the OpenAI Whisper API, so that it transcribes the audio into text. And then once he has the text, he sends a call to the GPT model to get like very structured notes for it. That was very interesting. So that's like a nice example of a project that uses two different AI APIs in combination to build something interesting. But the thing that really impressed me with this is he had never built a web app before. Like he was really, like he was a beginner in coding. He didn't have much coding skills, and what he was able to accomplish relatively quickly with this app It was really cool to see. And he made this in realistically really 2 weeks. Like we had calls for during 1 month, like every week we would have like 1 hour call every Saturday. And then the rest he was just working himself. Like the beginning calls were just like introduction into like how things work. And then the last 2 weeks, that's when he was working on his project. Pretty cool thing that he built. Next project is RecipePal by Abdul Malik from Chechnya. So he built an AI app that can create a recipe plan for you based on some configuration that you have. So I really like the UI. First of all, like it's a nice little interface that he built, like very immersive. And you click on one of the options, it asks you for like a preparation time, like how long do you want to cook. You can select an option from the menu, like from the drop down, sorry. It asks you about the ingredients that you want to avoid in this meal that you want to cook. You basically write something and then you can just collect the custom dish that is creating for you. You have to wait for a few seconds and then it creates the dish. You can select one of them and then it's gonna give you like the full recipe on how to prepare this. The nice thing about this project though is that he built it with Next.js, and Next.js is my go-to project now for like any AI project that I built. It's a really nice framework. It's extremely popular. A lot of companies are using it. The company where I work, we also use it. It's a very powerful framework, especially to build like AI projects and deploy them easily. It's the best. Highly recommend using it. Next project was built by Carlos from Spain, and it's like a fitness planner. So you have to input a bunch of characteristics about you, your age, your height, weight, gender, like the experience that you have, objectives, injuries, like how much availability you have, so how many times you're able to work out every week. And then the equipment that you have, if you have like a home equipment or gym. Then you click on submit, and then it's gonna load, and then it's gonna generate basically a full plan for you to help you reach your goals based on the objective that you have selected. And you see that the nice part is that it's actually a daily plan. So based on how many days you can work out per week that you've selected, it creates a plan for every single day, the duration of the workout, which muscle group to focus on, and which exercise that you're supposed to do. This project was also built with Next.js, again, like my favorite framework, and like everyone else used the OpenAI API to build this project. The nice part about this one that I liked is that there is a pretty big form, so there's a lot of information that you provide, a lot of context, and that actually helps the UI generate something specific. Because you could also build something like this as like just a chat, or maybe like a one input field where the user has to provide all the basic information and then the AI creates a plan. But here, by having a form, you make the information a lot more structured. And when you send structured information to an AI, it's able to provide a much more structured response. And also you make sure that the user doesn't forget anything, so you really very specifically provide all the information that the AI needs to create the best plan that it can. That was like a nice aspect to this. Next project is QuranPal by Barish from Turkey. So this was like basically a Quran companion that helps you answer questions that you have about the Quran to explain like some concepts or share insights. Sorry, by the way, it's lagging a little bit because this is a recording of a demo day we had where he presented the project. So I like the background he had, like he made like an animation video background, but otherwise it's a pretty simple app. So it has like one input field. This is part of the template that I provided him, and you write like the input that you have, any questions you have in the input field, click on submit, and then it gives you like a response. So for example, here he is writing to the AI, actually, can you introduce yourself? So like then the AI is saying like, Assalamu alaikum, I'm a Quran expert, and then it gives you like some indications of what it is, like the assistant, and then it's going to be asking some questions. But yeah, here he's asking like another question about like a surah, and he's asking it in English, and then you see that in the response is providing commentary basically on that chapter of the Quran. Next project is Berkshire GPT, which was built by Juan from the US. So he was actually already a more experienced engineer because he was working at Meta, and he built this Next.js chat app, which is basically a chatbot app for Berkshire Hathaway. So this very famous like investment fund, and he trained the model based on data that he found from like some of the investment letters or something like that they had. And here you see that, for example, he's asking questions about like the Facebook stock, and then the chat is replying information about it. So it's not like a trading bot that makes investments for you. It's more like a bot that provides you information based on like the data that it was trained on. And it can tell you things like the advantages of that stock and the disadvantages, and then it gives you a summary like, oh, like the Facebook has like a strong competitive advantage, blah, blah, blah. Like it explains a couple of different things. Here, this is typically an example of what I was talking about when I say like you can build a chat on a very specific niche and people will find it super valuable because you're niching down. You're not just building like a random chat. Like for example, ChatGPT is just a random generic chat interface where you can just chat with an AI and then you can customize it through prompts, but it's still pretty generic. However, if you build something a lot more specific, like what he built here, then it becomes a lot more interesting because you have, first of all, an interface that are very specific. You trained it maybe based on data that is like hard to get, that is unique and makes the AI a lot more performant for that specific use case where you're in. And then the niche typically, right? So like people who are interested in investment, they're gonna most likely check a bot like this instead of just asking ChatGPT, right? Because ChatGPT is too general. So here he made a good job of just niching down, but then the rest, like building an app like this, is relatively simple. It's like I made a tutorial actually on how to build an AI chat as like your first project. Next project is an AI thumbnail generator, which was built by Ahmed from the US. The thing though is he built this project around a year ago or so, and at the time only the DALL-E 2 API was available, and DALL-E 2 was honestly very crappy. Like it didn't really follow instructions well. Just the generation was very low quality compared to what we have today. But the way the app basically works is that you just have an input field, you provide text for the thumbnail you want to generate, you press on submit, it sends the request to DALL-E 2, which then returns an image, and then it just displays the image. So he was just testing it by like taking a video title from like just a random video on YouTube. But as you can see, the results, they're not great. Like first of all, it was limited to only a square image and not like a landscape image like we need for YouTube. And then you see just like a random image. It's not catchy for a thumbnail. But now though, with the new versions that exist, like with DALL-E 3 or with different AI APIs for like images that exist, you can do a much better job than this. So this idea is still relevant, and I know that some people have developed an idea like this, like a thumbnail generator. They were making a few $1,000s per month, like with this AI. Like I think there was one tool I saw on Twitter, I don't remember how it was called, but the guy was making around like $10,000 per month using this. All right, and for the 10th project, I actually have a very nice video demo for this one. So this is a Twitter analyzer which was built by Wakas from Canada. You basically input in the text field like a tweet idea that you have, press submit, and then it's going to give you a feedback on the tweet, how to improve it. It's going to give you ranking of like the viral potential of that tweet. And this one, the funny part is that when I had shared online all the projects that my students had built, like for the first cohort, like the 10 first projects that my first students built, this is a project that a lot of people reached out about to ask, hey, can I get access to this tool, because I wanted to like create content for Twitter. So that was interesting. Like this shows that ideas like this have potential from a monetary perspective, because when you're actually solving problems for people, people are ready to pay for that. And the bigger the problem that you solve, the more money they're ready to pay for. Projects that solve problems in general are a lot more interesting. They're a lot more interesting for recruiters, for managers. In interviews, they will ask you questions about it. They like those types of projects, they stand out a lot more usually. I recommend you look into that. I hope you enjoyed this Codebenders. Don't forget to check out the bootcamp. If you want me to help you build projects like these, go to lastcodebender.com/bootcamp. Otherwise, watch this video next for a full roadmap on how to become an AI developer.